Oh, oh, hey, hey, how's it going? I didn't even see you there for a minute. I was focusing on what I'm doing here. Let me turn the machine off real quick, and I'll show you what we're doing today. Today's project. Hi, everybody. Good to see you again. This is Al down here in Mobile, Alabama, with Al's Motorcycle Shop, the one and only. Anyway, what we're doing today, what today's project is I've got a left-hand engine case. This is a sprocket side. They call it the sprocket side. And this one case right here happens to be a shovel head, but most commonly the ones that I have to do this to are the Evolutions, the Evos engine cases, because they have a real problem with the cases. The early model cases, they had a problem with them. And I'll show you what we got going on over here. If you want to look. Like I said, this is an older case. It's an old, what is this? This is a 1976 shovel head case. But basically, the Evo cases and the shovel head cases were basically the same thing. So what happens, this steel insert right here is actually physically casted into this engine case. And what will happen is this steel case, on some of the older models, on some of them it will, some of them won't. It depends. Guys start putting big bore kits in them and cams and stuff like that. They up the horsepower on, especially on the Evolution, the early model Evolution ones, and a lot of them on these shovel heads too, is the steel insert won't take it. It'll start to separate from the aluminum. And here's one I removed. What I do is I actually put it on a lathe and I cut the middle completely out, right? And this is it right here. And what'll happen is the way you can test this, one of the problems is it'll start leaking engine oil into the primary. It'll fill the primary up with oil. And it was a real common problem. Let me see. But anyway, if you have that problem, you take the motor apart and you want to test it to make sure that this steel insert is still okay. What you can do is on the inside of the motor, which this is the outside, this is the inside. If you just drag your fingernail across there and it catches on that steel insert is loose and it will leak oil. When the motor heats up, when the aluminum heats up, aluminum will expand more than steel will. So that aluminum will actually separate, and that'll cause your crank, as your crank's turning around, that'll cause excessive wear on your rods, your cylinders, and you'll just wear the motor out much faster. Plus you'll have a bunch of oil in your primary, and you don't want that. But anyway, that's the way to test it. If you just drag your fingernail across it either way, and if it catches, right there where the two different dissimilar metals meet, it's separated. It's no good. I've seen people try to drill and tap and put screws in here and everything else, and nothing works. The only thing that's going to work is if you completely remove it out of the case, and look over here, and you weld a whole new piece of aluminum in, and you remachine it down to look like the steel one. Okay? What I do is I get a big piece of aluminum billet, this piece right here, and I'll cut off the section I need, and after I machine it out, I'll stick it in there and I'll weld it. It has to be welded. I don't weld it myself because I'm not that good of an aluminum welder. So I take it to a professional aluminum welder, and he does a 100% weld around there where it's all weld. So it's good, and it's when it's finished, it's a piece of the engine case. So then I take it back, and now let's take a look at this one I've just finished here. Now I just finished doing all the machining on this one. So let's take it out of the machine and take a closer look at it, because it's ready to come out. Okay, let's pull this heavy thing out here. Okay, this is it right here. Alright, so as you can see, I've completely machined it down. The only thing I got left is I got to drill and tap 4 holes. I think it's a 10-24 screws that hold the stator in place. And then there's a hole that inside in here, you have to cut out a notch in here for the spacer to fit in. And this is for your Timken bearings, because one Timken bearing goes on the outside, the other Timken bearing goes on the inside. Okay, just like that. Alright. That gap right there has to be at the top. When you put all this back together, you put this back in here, the spacer back in there, it has to be at the top because there's a whole oil hole drilled down through the top. and these bearings have to get oil. There's a hole drilled down at the bottom where it drains out, so it's fresh oil going in and out of them bearings all the time. Bearings have to have oil, okay? I've actually seen these spacers put in like this. And if you put them in like this, those bearings aren't going to get enough oil and they're going to burn up. Guys come to me and says, "Oh, I got a fresh engine bill, but its bearings already burned up." Well, that's why. But anyway, one video I saw where the guy, there's another spacer that goes in between the bearings fit in here, and there's a spacer that goes in here. I don't have one laying around here right now. But I saw a video where one guy took the motor apart and somebody left out that middle spacer, which is pretty dumb. But anyway, here's the crank that goes in here. And you can see that bearing is already on there. That's an old crank. That came out of a flood bike. But anyway, that's pretty much well it. You know, once I get finished with this, you know, it cost me about $700 to have this done, or you can buy a new set of cases for $800. Most people buy new cases because it's a lot of work to get this done and make it right. The newer Evolution engine cases come from the factory with all this aluminum. They've completely eliminated, where's it at? Oh, here it is. They've completely eliminated the steel insert. Why? Because they come loose and you got oil in your primary. So they just make them out of aluminum now. But anyway, this is Al at Al's Motorcycle Shop way down here in Mobile, Alabama. See y'all next time. Woohoo!